Some news outlets have reported that there was a leaked extract of the 10-year NHS plan. So this is a document outlining the government's plan to overhaul the NHS. And it was said that part of the plan that was documented in this program is the prioritization of UK medical graduates over foreign trained medical personnel. And the concern really is, are we at that point where we can say now that the UK is no longer a place for foreign trained medical professionals? Like, more like, is this the end of immigration of foreign trained personnel into the UK? Because with everything that is documented here, like if everything actually is like what has been said here, then obviously it looks like there is really no room for foreign trained medical professionals in the UK anymore. While keeping in mind that the original document is still not out. So this is more like a leaked document. So the full statement from the government is not yet out, and so we can't actually believe everything here. However, there are like very strong speculations that seem like this is what might eventually happen. So hello, my name is Blessing and I'm a first year psychiatry trainee here in the UK, and here on this channel I talk all about medicine and I also share my journey as a doctor in training. So feel free to actually join the community, and without further ado, let's get right into the video. So in this article, it was said that the health secretary has stated that it's actually unreasonable that UK medical training graduates should be put on the same level or measured, the same way, or be put in a situation to have to compete with international or foreign trained medical graduates. And so the plan is that they are going to be making a lot of changes that will ensure that the UK medical graduates are prioritized. He said, according to this article, that the training roles should be given to those whose education and whose training the UK taxpayer have invested into. So basically, the plan is that the government is planning to actually reverse all the things, like everything that was done in 2020 that made it possible for foreign medical graduates to be able to get into specialty training in the NHS. So what is going to happen is that the health secretary, based on what was written in this article, is that they are going to reverse everything that Matt Hancock actually did in 2020. I think for some persons, the whole thing that is happening now is definitely not a surprise, because just process it. This is how it was. So in 2020, they needed help. There was crisis. They needed more doctors in the system. They didn't have enough doctors to actually help manage the crisis. And so they opened their doors to international medical doctors to come help out. There has to be something much more than just any money, because some other countries actually pay much more better than the UK. And so there has to be something else that the UK could offer besides, just the pay. And I guess that was where the whole idea of allowing them to get into specialty training actually came up. And so now COVID is over, the pandemic is over, everything seems to be fine now, everything is getting stable, and it's more like, oh, we don't need this workforce anymore. And so that's just basically what has happened. So it's more like the NHS doesn't need these foreign medical professionals anymore, and that is why it seemed like it's time for us to actually shut our doors. And that is probably what we should be anticipating in the coming days. Of course, this is a leaked extract, but then based on what was said here, it said that the health secretary actually thinks that this is a step in the right direction. Also, keep in mind that earlier this year, it was actually the British Medical Association that made this proposition to the government about the prioritization of UK medical graduates. So the government responding to this is more like the government wants to be on the good side of the BMA, and they are hoping that being able to do this, prioritizing UK medical graduates, is probably going to get them on the good side of the BMA, especially because recently, as you might be aware, that the BMA is already threatening to go on, future strike. If eventually a lot of doctors ballot enough for a strike action, then it means that between July and January, there can actually be strikes. So the government is quite worried about this, because really the current government is so committed to rebuilding the NHS and bringing back the previous glory of the NHS. They have been making some progress, and they think that doctors going on strike at this point is going to ruin all the progress that has been made so far. And so this is also one of the government's plights, to actually be on the good side of doctors, and if possible to get doctors to change their mind about future strike. And so it actually seems like it's a win-win for everyone. You know, the BMA get what they want, the government get what they want, and everyone is fine. So as it is right now, just like I said before, that these are just speculations. It said that this is a leaked extract. So the health secretary has previously said that the full document is going to be out sometimes this summer. So it means it can be anytime from now. So everyone is actually waiting, especially the foreign trained medical professionals, because this actually means a lot. You know, like, this is going to be a major shift, both for those who are already in the UK and for especially those who are still outside of the UK, you know, who have invested so much into the whole process of becoming GMC licensed. And eventually this works out, you know, like the government goes in this direction. The implication is that it's going to be in favor of the UK medical graduates, more doctors to be able to get into residency program, and also because the government has also said that they are making plans to actually expand the training post. And so that way there's going to be more rooms to accommodate more doctors. And if this actually happens, it means that the unemployment crisis that the NHS is facing currently is going to resolve over time, as more doctors are going to be able to get into specialty training. And on the other side, for the foreign trained medical graduates, the implication is just that there is no room for foreign trained medical graduates anymore in the UK, because if specialty training roles are now going to like UK medical graduates are going to be prioritized, and UK is intentionally producing more graduates, as we have seen over time, that between 2022 and 2025 there has been a significant increase in the number of UK medical graduates. So it means that even the available training post is not enough to accommodate all of these medical graduates. So it means that as more British trained or UK trained medical graduates are going to be prioritized, there's going to be little or nothing left for international medical graduates. As much as that really sounds very disappointing, but I think that is the current realities of things. And so what is the way forward? The way forward is we are still going to wait and see what the document says in summer when it eventually comes out. However, I think at this point, I think it's time for every foreign trained medical doctor to actually know that, okay, it seems like the path to the UK is gradually shutting down. And so if you have not started the PLAB pathway at all, please don't bother investing your time, effort and money into it, because it's probably going to be a wasted effort. It's going to be an unprofitable venture. Yes, that's what it is. So and if by venture you have actually gone too far, then I think this is the plan where you should prepare your mind for the worst case scenario, and also to begin to put a plan B in place if it happens that in summer when the full report is out, and then this is what happens. Because prioritizing UK medical graduates means that it will become almost impossible for international medical graduates to be able to come into the UK for specialty training. And now that the non-training roles have become very, very, very limited, it means that the chances of an international foreign trained medical doctor getting into the NHS is very slim, and will probably continue to become slimmer, except policy changes and maybe they decide to increase the number of non-training roles to accommodate international medical graduates, you know, or maybe after the UK medical graduates have been given specialty slots, then there's still room to accommodate a few persons, and that means it's actually going to become even much more competitive than what it is now for these foreign trained medical professionals. Yes, keep hope alive, but prepare your mind for the worst case scenario, and you know, start putting together a plan B. That okay, if the UK doesn't work, then what is my next step? what am I going to do? Another interesting thing is the fact that this is not just affecting those in specialty, it's not affecting only specialty training roles, even the foundation programs too. So the UK medical graduates are going to be prioritized for both foundation program and the specialty training roles. Like, one of the things that probably needs to be done is the fact that I also think that the government should intervene in PLAB exams, because a lot of foreign trained medical doctors still keep investing in PLAB exams with the hope that, or thinking that, because the PLAB exams are still open, it means that there's probably opportunities still available here in the UK, but that is not true. So if there's something that could be done in terms of the PLAB exam, maybe reducing the number of slots that are opened, that could actually help to control the number of international medical graduates applying for this exam, just like what happens with USMLE. Just cutting down on the whole PLAB thing, and for people to really understand that a lot is changing here in the UK. And so I think this is where I'm going to be ending this video today. Feel free to actually share your thoughts and your comments down here in the comment section. And don't forget to like, and till I see you again, take care. Bye.